Hey, this is Stephen Platinum, your friend in wrestling with Platinum against Raw. This is from October 4th, 2021. And boy, they were throwing a lot of stuff out there for sure, taking advantage of, I guess they're going to have a couple more weeks before people are officially moving to this show or that one. So they got a lot of stuff in here. And they were definitely in Please Don't Change the Channel mode, which makes for at least programming with a little bit of life in it. Now, how successful it all is, well, that's what we're here to determine. So we hype tonight's show and go over some of the picks made during last Friday's Smackdown. We go right to the ring. Here comes Becky Lynch, who's the Smackdown Women's Champion, to a big pop. Lynch raises the title in the air. We get a video package of how Raw Women's Champion Charlotte Flair was drafted to SmackDown and how she laid out Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair after Banks won the main event over Belair. Flair then faced off with Lynch to end the show. And we hype the Banks Belair versus Lynch at Crown Jewel in Saudi Arabia. Fans chant Becky. This heel turn's really working. She takes the mic. The man's come around, etc., etc. Becky says Flair hasn't been the same since they last fought. Here comes Flair. Becky's not officially on Raw just yet. Flair marches down to the ring, takes her time. Flair says they clearly have some unfinished business, but here comes Bianca Belair. The fans chant EST. A bunch of stuff is said. Sonya Deville and Adam Pearce interrupt from the stage. Deville announces Flair versus Belair for the first time ever on tonight's Raw. Pearce announces Natalya and Tamina Snuka versus the women's tag champions Nikki Ash and Rhea Ripley, with the titles on the line. But first, the U.S. title is on the line. So they're just throwing. And we get Jeff Hardy against Damian Priest again. How's the match? It's fine. So Hardy nails the Swanton Bomb, but he's a bit slow to make the cover after landing awkwardly. Priest kicks out and rolls Hardy right over for the pin to retain. Very strange finish. They show each other respect. Sarah Schreiber interviews Hardy in the ring after the match, asked about his being the draft pick to SmackDown. He loves the fans. He's been at the highest of highs, but he's crashed down to reality. He says SmackDown might be the perfect place to see a different side of Jeff Hardy. And here comes Austin Theory. And now he's in the ring with Jeff Hardy, which is his dream. But Theory levels him with a cheap shot, of course. Drops him again with his TKO finisher. And then Theory takes a selfie with Hardy on the mat. We got Randy Orton and Riddle. And long story short, Orton wants Omos to go one-on-one with him. Shayna Baszler against Dana Brooke. Shayna Baszler wins with a Kirifuda clutch and then goes to hurt Brooke, but Doudrop runs out and makes the save. So we're going to have Doudrop and Baszler down the road. At least it's an angle. And Doudrop is clearly the babyface in the angle where people were wondering, well, is Shayna Baszler the babyface because of who she's been injuring? The booking is something else. We got Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo against Mustafa Ali and Mansoor in the match that you were dying to see. And Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo win. Roll up. Big E makes his way to the ring for a big pop, and we go to commercial and we come back. And we see that Clay Travis of Fox Sports is shown at ringside with his kids. We go back to Pearce and DeVille on the stage for more picks. Raw picks AJ Styles and Omos to stay on the show. SmackDown picks Shayna Baszler to come over from Raw. Raw picks Kevin Owens to come over from SmackDown. And SmackDown picks Xia Li to come from WWE NXT. That's cool. First Chinese woman on one of the main shows for WWE. Go back to the ring. Big E has a mic. He talks about being down over Kingston and Xavier Woods going to another brand. It is what it is. Out comes McIntyre with his sword, now named Angela. Is that the one that's the tooth of the Loch Ness? Drew praises Big E. Says, but he cashed in on an injured Lashley. But Lashley cashed in. It's a bunch of nonsense. So the long and short of it is Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler come. Big E and Drew McIntyre are going to team against them. Long story short there, Drew McIntyre sort of steals the spotlight, gets the pin on Ziggler, and Big E looks annoyed, setting up their further future conflict. Roode rushes the ring, but Big E catches him with a big ending, saving Drew. Drew picks up the title belt, looks at it, hands it to Big E. Ooh. They're going to face each other at Crown Jewel, the search for more blood money. We get WWE 24/7 champion Reggie approaching Adam Pearce backstage to talk about the draft. Pearce says, I didn't send for you. Reggie realizes he's been set up. R-Truth attacks, but Reggie avoids him. Jackson Riker, oh boy. Kira Tozawa and others try to get Reggie, but he flips away. Commander Aziz and Apollo Crews stop Reggie, and Crews laughs, saying it's good to see Reggie again. Reggie keeps flipping away to avoid Drake, Maverick, and others. Crews says he told Aziz it's got to be a good time on Raw. It could have fooled me. Charlotte Flair's backstage warming up. We see Kevin Owens for the KO show. The announcers plug Miz on Dancing with the Stars. Oh boy. Back from the break, country music singer Hardy is shown at ringside. So again, taking their cues from AEW, who has celebrities legitimately show up of their own volition, now we're going to just show celebrities as well that they're at Raw. Okay. Here comes Akira Tozawa. We see how Keith Bearcat Lee squashed Tozawa last week. Tozawa enters the ring and takes the mic from Owens' hand. He welcomes Owens back to Raw, and Owens looks shocked. He doesn't want to fight Owens. He wants to fight Reggie for the 24/7 title right now. He starts warming up for Reggie. Owens turns him right back around, drops him with a stunner. Go back to Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville. Raw picks the Street Profits to come over from SmackDown. SmackDown selects the Viking Raiders to come over from Raw. Yay. Raw picks Finn Balor to come over to from SmackDown, and SmackDown picks Ricochet to come over from Raw. We got Natalya and Tamina Snuka defending their titles against Nikki Ash and Rhea Ripley, who are the champions. Excuse me. Now Ripley is full babyface, glad-handing with the fans. It's very weird. Match happens. At the end of it, Ripley slams Nikki on top of Tamina and wins with a splash for the pin to retain. And Natalya's seething. We see what Bobby Lashley did to Gage Goldberg at SummerSlam from months ago. Bill Goldberg's backstage. Wonder if he's going to threaten to kill him again. We shall see. Back from the break, they remind us that the draft changes won't go into effect until the October 22nd SmackDown, the night after Crown Jewel. So Raw picks Karrion Kross to stay on the show. Okay. SmackDown picks Humberto Carrillo and Angel Garza to come over from Raw. And Raw picked Alexa Bliss to stay on the show. SmackDown picked Cesaro to stay on the show as well. Goldberg is introduced. Lashley says he'll give Goldberg a match basically at Crown Jewel, but under one condition: it's no holds barred. Goldberg drops to his knees and thanks Lashley. Lashley says Goldberg can bring his son along, and he says no holds barred gives him a license to kill. Long story short, Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin attack Goldberg from behind. He fights them off, delivers a spear. Lashley smirks from the stage. Yeah, we see what happened earlier with Austin Theory and Jeff Hardy. And then they hype some of the Raw draft picks. Now, Kevin Patrick is backstage with Seth Rollins. He's excited about being back on Raw. He's talking about, you know, Patrick wants to bring up the fact that Edge is drafted to Raw as well, but Rollins doesn't want to hear about that. Okay. New Day versus Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander. Very short match. New Day wins. Strange, but this is all just to bring out the Street Profits. Street Profits congratulate the New Day on their win in their new Netflix movie with The Undertaker appearing tomorrow. And the Profits announce they'll be back on Raw and they want the smoke. And so it goes. Finn Balor's return to Raw. We get a video package about that. And then we get Randy Orton and Riddle. They come out, call out Omos again. Out comes Omos and AJ Styles. They talk a bunch of stuff. And the long and short of it is AJ Styles gets hit with the RKO. Bianca Belair is warming up. We hyped the NXT 2.0 episode. We go back to Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville for the final round. Raw picks Carmella. What? SmackDown picks Ridge Holland. Oh boy. Raw picks Gable Stevenson. Okay. SmackDown picks Sami Zayn. Charlotte Flair against Bianca Belair. It's a good athletic match. It's really here to make Charlotte look good, and Bianca really looked like she was getting out-wrestled for most of this match, if I'm being honest. Bianca scoops up Flair for the KOD and hits it, but it's pretty sloppy. Belair covers for the pin, but Lynch pulls her out, calls for the DQ. So a match of no consequence, of course. And then everybody's fighting. Sasha Banks comes out and lays out Becky Lynch with the backstabber. Oh, this show, bro. Tis what it is.